Hey guys, my name is Mark from jazzguitarlessons.net. Welcome to the short vlog. This is the stuff you have to stop doing if you want to become a better jazz guitarist. All info about the new instrument, of course, found in the description below. I know you guys will have a lot of questions. It is a Strandberg, love it. So far, still getting accustomed. So in this video, I want to do something a bit, not a bit funny, but different than other videos. I'm online here 13 years and counting, and I've always made YouTube videos and told students, hey, do this. This is what you need to do. And I saw all these videos on YouTube go, you have to stop doing that if you want to do more push-ups or whatever. So just why not do a video that's a compilation of all the things that I think you should stop doing if you want to develop as a jazz player, and what to do instead. So let's get going. All right, so let's stop sitting down with the guitar without a plan for practicing. It's fine if you start and warm up and noodle a little bit, but if you sit down and you don't know what you're about to practice, before you pick up the instrument, you're going to go nowhere. So make it a habit, post-it note on your music stand, on the guitar, go plan. Even if you say, I'm going to do this and that, it's 2 things, 3 things, and you have 20 minutes, it's perfect. Keep planning ahead, and this is how you can plan to be better. So don't noodle as much. Well, you can still noodle, it's fine. I still noodle all the time. Another thing you have to stop doing, stop trying to practice too many things. What do I mean? Well, I got students that are like, all right, I'm working on this scale and this lick and all of the positions, and also I'm learning these 3 tunes, and I'm writing all the chord inversions on paper and learning the theory a little bit at night. I'm like, dude, you're gonna do 0 of those things. So instead, what you have to do is reduce your focus, which is exactly what I do with my private students. You reduce your focus to maybe 2 to 3 things you're working on. They can be big things, but you just chip away at them. Instead of trying to go, a student told me a mile wide, but an inch deep. Instead, go less wide, go narrow, but go deeper in each topic. That's going to pay off tremendously in the long run, trust me. So I remember this time when I was like 20 and I go like, yeah, I'm going to learn 1 new lick every day. You're not going to do that. That's not going to work. If you learn a Coltrane lick, it's going to take you a month to really memorize the lick. So don't bite more than you can chew is the advice here. Reduce the constraints, reduce the amount of stuff you practice, and you'll see your playing do that. Okay, another great don't do. Stop doing an approach that is the only approach that you have and you're done. Playing jazz and being creative and doing improv solos is meant to be a form of poetry, if you will. So what you need to do, what you have to do, is see the same information from a lot of different angles. So yes, you can think about tritone substitutions. Yes, you can think about the altered scale. Yes, you can think of arpeggios notes, and then scales in themselves, and then modes, and then pentatonic patterns superimposed. You can think of all of it, but there's no approach, single approach, that will give you all of the benefits. All right? And it's the same with the multiple approaches when students say, well, I see just patterns. Like, yeah, that's fine. That's one of my students right now. It's like, yeah, that's fine. But then just don't deny this. You see the pattern. Now think of scale degrees as well. So if I'm thinking of the C scale, that's a bebop scale, right? Then I can say, well, yeah, I know that's a fingering pattern, but what are the scale degrees? And then what are the note names? And then what are the intervals? So it's still the same information. You're just approaching it from another point. So stop thinking that you'll have nailed the first 8 bars of all the things you are because you know it's in the key of A flat. I found a shortcut, then I'm done. You're never done. That's the whole point. That's a whole discovery of learning improv as a language. Okay, a really good one here. Stop thinking that you have to know everything before you know how it sounds. It is music. It is an oral art form, right? So what you have to learn is, oh yeah, that's a major chord. Well, what does it sound, a major chord? It sounds like this. Oh, nice. That's what it is. On paper, some of the stuff in music theory doesn't really make sense because this thing is a language. There is syntax and grammar. There are rules, quote-unquote rules, a way to do things that if you were to just purely analyze them on paper, it wouldn't make sense. So stop doing the theory first and know that the theory came after to explain what we're doing that we found sounded good, all right? So an example of this, that's prime example. Students will build triads, 1, 3, 5, right? Like this. And then we'll go, oh, 7 chords. Okay, so C major 7, C, E, G, B. Okay, cool. So I can go beyond the 7th. I can go 9, 11, 13. It's like, yeah. But then say, what's the 11th for a C major chord? Well, it's an F note. Well, you shouldn't really play it. you shouldn't really play an F note during a C major chord because it just sounds like the third is suspended. Oh, what's that? Well, it's a sus chord. What do you mean? Well, there's a 4/3 resolution. You see, we go back. So on paper, it does make sense that you just keep stacking thirds. But down the line, how does it sound is more important than if it fits the model of the theory we have. So this is not physics, guys. This is not mathematics. It is an art form. So stop thinking that you have to know everything first and go to your ears and your melodic intuition first. Stop trying to find shortcuts on YouTube. Yeah, I said it. You're here. I know. You don't need to be on YouTube and try to find a way that will finally solve everything you're playing. You're not going to find it. It is time. Time well spent, time invested, practicing, making a plan, making sure you know the scales and whatever. There is no such thing as a way that you will encounter that you will find like, oh, people are into triad pairs. But even if you did learn all your triad pairs and understand how to mix match them and you got the pure technique of it, you wouldn't necessarily become a more lyrical player. It's the same with any system of substitution or any mental shortcut that you want to go through, that you say, well, when I learn a song, I have to do this, that. Those are just constraints that you put on yourself. You don't have to go there. You don't have to. You can if you want, but let me tell you, there's not a lot of different systems that will make you a better musician. Perhaps you would get more vocabulary, like I love the pentatonic stuff. There's a bunch of my YouTube videos about pentatonics. But even with pentatonics, you still need a melodic intuition. So it means you must have done your work with the major scales and the tension and resolutions and dominance and learn the songs and play the gigs and make the mistakes. And yeah, I know the drummer's drunk after only 2 songs and the singer, you're trying to get a date with her, but you can't. You know, you have to go through that. And there's no shortcut that will give you that experience. It would be like being, a 50-year-old man and looking at a 15-year-old. You can't engage and deliver that knowledge and experience to a 15-year-old. He needs to go through life and breakups and college and job and etc. Right? So the tip is not looking for shortcuts. You do this because you love it. Extract the most out of it. Come up with your own style and sound, and then keep pushing and keep learning the music. That's gonna be a really funny one. Stop stopping. Stop stopping. People will play blue bossa and go. And they go, oh no, and they start over to the C minor. Like, dude, just keep going. So the form, the conveyor belt of the form, you really have to respect it. So let yourself make the mistakes and don't stop. So here's what you have to stop doing. You have to stop stopping. Isn't that good? Okay, here's an easy one. Stop being afraid of improvising. Improvising is a habit. I keep saying this on YouTube and to my students. Pick any 3 notes, anywhere. Go like, and you can play for an hour with just the 3 notes. And this is not even in time. You could do that forever. So improvising, it's pretty much like improv theater. It's a habit, it's a mindset. Of course, there are scales and arpeggios that you need to learn, but don't let the learning of anything be a blocker to playing the game. For instance, if you I don't play soccer, but if you have a soccer player, say, no, I need to lift all these weights and I need to squat at least 300 pounds before I can go on the field and play a game. It's like, no, go to the field, play, do some drills, kick the ball, score some goals, man. You'll get stronger in the gym next week, that's fine. People's like, no, I have to learn all the positions. I have another tip about the positions, of course. So improv is a habit. Don't wait before you improvise. You can schedule improvisation. Start a timer and go, I'm just going to play. What scale? I don't know. I'm just going to play something. See what comes out. That can be a tremendous creative outlet for you. A really good and relevant one for all, like that's for teachers and whatever. Stop thinking of positions, please. Stop thinking of everything in every position. Guys are like, I learned to slick. Now I want to learn it in all the positions. To me, why? Are you going to sound better? Play it in one position, maybe another one, maybe an octave high. Right? Okay. Then what else is going to come out of learning all these positions? What if when you use the second finger instead of the third, your phrasing is not as good? So why would you spend the time? Well, it's gymnastics. Well, yeah, but have you ever seen Wes Montgomery? Could you have said, Wes, play this lick and then go to another place and play the same licks? Like, no, you would just know the lick or 1 or 2 places, maybe 3 places. So people, number one, freak out about learning everything in all positions. which is, I think, is a waste of time. And the other thing is, even with the positions, when people say, I'm here, and when I start to solo, I shouldn't move. That's just not true. Again, go watch Wes. Wes, 1965, somewhere in Belgium. Just friggin' look at him. He's never bound to a place. So of course you can start your solo here, but even when you're learning scales or arpeggios, don't deprive yourself from going up a fret or down a fret for the whole world it opens up. It's right there. So you don't need to be there and go, well, that's it. All right? And on the other side on the flip side of the coin, here you have that within a single position. Actually, you don't have to move because that's like from here to here. That's a whole register of like a sax or even more. So everything is there, so you wouldn't need to move. However, if it makes your phrasing easier, why not? It's right there. You don't need to be limited by a box or anything, right? So positions, that's a biggie. Like that's a big, I would say, thing for. There's a certain duality. People are for it, against it. I say it's all the better. Joe Pass brings it up like, well, block your fretboard. It's a GPS. Yeah, it's great for learning notes. But when you're performing a song, have you ever seen Joe Pass improvise? He's never in a position. He knows the positions and then he's playing all around it. So see if you can break out of that box. Okay, so stop playing the scales and everything you play starting with the index finger. You're going to get stuck here and you want to play Dorian and you have to do a stretch and that doesn't really make sense when you phrase solos. Instead, here's what you can do. Start with either second finger, playing D Dorians here, or start with a pinky. Starting with pinky or second finger will be a lifesaver because it extends the types of possibilities you can do in your phrasing. So that said, with any scale that you currently know, any arpeggio or songs that you're playing, see if you can, instead of always start like that, start either here with the second finger or like this with the pinky, so you explore this area of your fretboard. Another crucial thing you have to stop doing, you have to stop playing seventh chords. Guys, if you see a lead sheet and it says G7, it doesn't mean that you have permission to just play a G7. Play a G13, play a G9, play something. As soon as you know the 7th, go up to the 9th and 13th and 11th. In case of dominant chords, you can do flat 9s and flat 13s, sharp 5s and stuff like that. That's the language of jazz. The pure plain 7ths are barely used, even from the 50s and 60s on. Jazz players always had colors like Bill Evans, etc. So a 7th is, I wouldn't say it's rare, but a pure 7th without colors is not something that we want to hear all of the time. So stop playing your 7th chords, add 9ths and 6ths and whatever to your chords to make them better. Okay, ready for this one? This is going to hit home for a lot of you guys. Stop thinking that arpeggios are just the end of everything. Think about it. If you learn an arpeggio, say I'm going to play There'll Never Be Another You. Well, if you learn, how would you sing a melody? You won't do that. When you learn arpeggios, yes, they contain the notes of the chord, but no, you don't have any information as far as the melodic direction of that note within the chord. And trust me, if you're singing a Chet Baker solo in the shower of There'll Never Be Another You or any other song, I can testify that you're not going to go and sing arpeggio notes. You will sing things that are lyrical, that are melodic, that are more linear, rather than po-ba-da-da. So yes, arpeggios make sense because they contain notes of the chord. They're a great fretboard orienter, great fretboard GPS if you want. But then, from the arpeggio, it's your goal to perform lines around it that are melodic. So let me do that one more time, just as a demo. I didn't even prepare for this. So let's go. There'll Never Be Another You in the key of E flat, okay? A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, arpeggio. To D minor 7 flat 5, G7. I'll stop there. So that's a C minor, right? So here's one of the goals, one of the things. So stop thinking pure arpeggio and thinking arpeggios are like stepping stones and they're like guideposts that you can phrase melodically around. Okay, sorry, I'm super enthusiastic today about giving you these don'ts. Don't do that. You ready? I'm going to phrase around my E flat. I'm going to phrase around it. Ready? A 1, a 2, a 2, get through. Ta, 2, ta. See, I'm thinking of thirds and sevenths and the fifths, etc. But I'm not just looking to play arpeggios notes and then I'm done. Alright guys, that's it for the stop doing and don't do this and don't do that with Mark from jazzguitarlessons.net. I hope you have enjoyed this video and some of the tips I shared with you. Plenty more on this YouTube channel, so please like and subscribe. Of course, you can book a call with me if you're interested in taking some more intensive one-on-one coaching in my Jazz Guitar Accelerator. And you can also go to the website, the blog. There's hundreds of songs, lessons about scales and chords, etc. It's at jazzguitarlessons.net. Improve your jazz guitar playing with a real teacher, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.